Hello, my wonderful learners. I welcome you to today's lesson on Basic 5 Integrated Science. What are we learning today? Our main topic for today is living things and non-living things. Living things and non-living things. Our objectives: 1. We want to identify and discuss the life processes of living things. And 2, to compare the differences among living and non-living things. Why do you say living things and non-living things? First of all, try and jump. I hope you can jump. Yes. Hop. Breathe in. Breathe out. When you be able to do all those things, that is good of you. How do you say living things and non-living? How do you understand it? How do you say living? Something is living. I hope you yourself you are getting the idea. Be able to jump, be able to hop, be able to breathe in, and also breathe out. When you take, let's say we take this, can this thing also do the same thing? Can it jump? Can it hop? Can it breathe in? So, what are you? I know you are going to say you are a living thing. Yes, of course, you are right. Now, let's talk about the meaning of living things. So, living things are organisms which undergo through most of the life processes, such as reproducing, excreting, respirating, moving, growing. So, you are able to move, you are able to jump, you are able to what? To breathe in and respirating. That means you are a living thing. So anything like you that can undergo all those processes, they are also what? Living thing. Or living things. Let's move to non-living things. When you say non-living things, of course, I hope you have gotten the idea. What is non-living things? Are those that do not undergo through the life processes like reproducing, respirating, growing, feeding, etc. etc. So let's come here. Let me ask you a question here. Which of these objects are living things and non-living things? So group the living things at one place and group the living things at one place and group the non-living things at one place. Let's look at this. This is a stone. Isn't a living thing? If it is a living thing, I'll ask you, can it breathe? Say no. Can it walk on its own? No. Can it jump? No. Can it reproduce? No. If no, then it's what? Fine, then group it yourself. This is a cow. Can it reproduce? Yes or no? Group it yourself. Can it breathe? Can it walk? Can it feed? Then you will see it's either, if it can do all the life processes, then we see it's what? It's living thing. If it can't do it, then we say it's what? Non-living. Tree. Can a tree grow? Can a tree move? Can it grow? I said that. Can it breathe? You can't see it. Can it feed on its own? If yes, then it's a living thing. Pencil, book, car. Can a car move on its own? Can it jump? Can it breathe? If no, then it's not. If yes, then it's a living thing. Look at the fowl here. Can it undergo all the life processes? If yes, then we say that these things, some of them are living things and some of them are non-living things. So you can see that this one can do that. This can do, this can also do. This can also do. This an ant. It can also what? Move. It can breathe. It eats. That means it's a living thing. Then those that cannot do those things, they are not living things. The tree, this is a tree. Can it move? Can it grow? Yes, it can move. When the air is blowing, it moves part of of the body. It means the tree is a living thing because it can grow. It can feed on its own. That means it can manufacture on its own fruit and it eats. When you put something under it, eat it. Take it in. That means it's a living thing. Now, let's quickly move to the life process that we are talking about. Before we move in again, when you ask to use the plant, you hear that the plant, though it moves. Look at it. You see that it's shaking. Since I'm shaking and it's shaking, now it's moving part of the body. So, and this tree also grew. Look at it. It was smaller. It has grown to this stage. So that means the tree or this plant is what a living thing. Okay, quickly, let's move on to the life processes. The life processes of living things. One is nutrition. What is nutrition? It's the process where organisms manufacture or take in food into their body. So, if you can take in food into your body, or you can manufacture your own food, example, a tree or plant, they manufacture their own food. And we, human beings, animals, they also take in food produced by the plant. So, animals and plants and human beings are what? Living things. Another one, reproduction. That's another life process. Reproduction, the ability or function of organisms to make or produce more of their own kinds. That's the reproduction. As our parents have been giving birth, that is reproduction. They are reproducing their own kinds, their young ones. Okay, so maybe very soon your mother will give birth to a new baby born. That means your mother has to reproduce. Plants, they also germinate and also bring out different ones. They reproduce their young ones. You see that when plantain is there, some will germinate aside it. That means it's what? Reproducing its own kind. So any thing that can do that they can produce, then you see that that thing is a living thing. Let's move on to another process, that's growth. Growth. Do you grow? Have you grown? Yes, you have grown. You were tender, very young. You started from kindergarten, nursery, you moved to class 1, and you were growing in size. You were growing what? In size. Once you growth refers to an irreversible increase in size and weight. When we say irreversible, that means when you grow, let's say I was very young like this and I've grown to some height like this, they can't bring me down again to be small. That means it's irreversible. I can't reverse back. Okay? So when you are able to increase in size and weight, then we say that we have grown. So we all grow. Animals also grow. Your let's say the cats at home. It was first it was very small. Now it has increased in size and also it has gained some weight. So we say that pussycat has grown. Movement or locomotion. Let me bring that one so that it will be. What is the movement? It's the change in position of the whole body or parts of the body, as I said previously. But the movement is not just that you move from one place to another, is the movement. Okay? But the movement, when you are there and you move like this, or you do something like this, you are moving. When the tree is there or the plant is there and the air is going and it's doing like this and shaking, it's doing like this, that plant is moving. So you can say, you will tell me that the plant cannot move from one place to another. Yes, it can move, but it moves parts of the body. It moves part of the body. So human beings and animals, they move from one place to another. That is locomotion. So when they're able to move from one place to another, we say that is locomotion. But when you move part of the body, that is movement. So every living thing undergo movement. But plants and animal and human beings, we move from one place to another. But the plants move parts of the body. So movement or plants and other things we mentioned so far, animal, they are Another one is respiration. From the beginning, I asked you to breathe in, and you did it. Out. That is respiration. So what is the respiration? It is the release of energy from the food, with or without the use of oxygen. With or without the use of what? Oxygen. Sometimes when you breathe, you see that when you are breathing in and breathing out, you are using what? Oxygen. Okay, but some plants, they breathe in, they don't use oxygen to breathe in, but they use what? They bring out what? They breathe in carbon dioxide. Okay, they breathe in, they send in carbon dioxide. But we human beings, we send in oxygen, or animals also take in oxygen, then we bring out carbon dioxide. So we say again, it is the release of energy from the food, with or without the use of what? Oxygen. So when you breathe in and breathe out, that means we are releasing hot energy, and it helps our food to also to digest or work in our system. Irritability or sensitivity. Irritability or what? Sensitivity. When I light these matches, Ajish, why? I feel it. I feel the what? I feel the hot object. Why? Because I am sensitive. I am what? Sensitive. Some plants, when you touch them, it's that they close immediately. Why? Because they are sensitive. They are irritable. That's irritability or sensitivity. When the material is sensitive, when you touch hot object, you remove your hand immediately. Why? Because of you are what? Because of the sensitivity. When you are asleep and someone uses something to pin you, quickly you jump. Why? Because of the sensitivity or the irritability. So when you say irritability or sensitivity, refers to the response to stimuli. Response to stimuli, how you respond immediately to the action taking place. That is what the sensitivity or the irritability we are talking about here. So example, removing one's hand from hot object. When there's hot object, I think you put your hand in for, like you are putting it in the cold water. When it's hot object, you remove your hand immediately. Why? Because you are sensitive. Your body is sensitive, it's working. But when that place is dead, when you put it, you don't feel anything. You don't feel any hot. So if you like, we human beings or animals become non-living when it's dead. When it's what? It's dead. When living things is dead, that means they are hot, they are non-living, they are dead body. Stone, they say it's natural, but it can't move, it can't breathe, it can't do anything. Like what human beings or living things what undergo. So we have to also like compare the differences. I've got a time factor, I'll leave it now. Next time we continue with the differences of what living and non-living things. But now I'll ask you again, what have we learned? Now we have identified and discussed the processes of what living things, the life process of what of living things. We talk about the meaning of living things and then the meaning of non-living things. We also talk about the life processes of living things. We have in all, we have 7. Okay, so try and know all the 7 for me. You have 7 life processes of living things for you to identify that this is a living thing, that they have to undergo all these processes. All these processes. That means that thing is a living thing. Okay. I will ask you again to stay safe and make sure that you learn hard from me. I love you all. Until we meet again, say goodbye.